So you may think, now that you have a Lightboard, or you're thinking about getting a Lightboard, that you have everything you need in order to create Lightboard videos. And the reality is, there is much more to it than just having a Lightboard. Welcome to the eLearning Simplified YouTube channel. I'm Johnny Havey, one of the co-founders of eLearning Partners, and really why this channel exists is to simplify e-learning for you. So by watching this video today, you're going to have an A to Z simplified plan of how to create Lightboard videos. Pretty cool. Now, the purpose of this channel is to simplify every aspect of e-learning, so definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you can get all the tips and tricks of the e-learning trade. The other videos in this mini-series have gone into detail of what is a Lightboard, what does it include, why does a Lightboard even exist, like what is the point of even creating Lightboard content? Well, this video is all about how do Lightboard videos work? How do you create a Lightboard video? Well, here's what you need. You need a Lightboard. Pretty simple. What is a Lightboard? A Lightboard has illuminated glass, the black light coming from the sides. We have the white light. Right here, I'm touching it. You can see it in my glasses. I can turn it up and down on those knobs on my right. See? Really bright, not so bright. That is a Lightboard. Then you need a camera. Now, we do strongly recommend that you at the very least use a 4K camera. Now, if you can use an 8K or more, fantastic. Basically, the better the camera that you use, the more you can do with the end image that you create. What else do you need? You need lapel mics. This is really important. You need a lapel mic instead of a boom mic for your camera because there's a piece of glass in front of me and the camera right now. So I'm literally talking at the glass. So the sound is reverberating back at me. It's not going to the camera. So if you try and capture audio for a Lightboard with a boom mic, it's not going to sound great. So you want to use a lapel mic. It's clipped on right here. That's going to give you your best audio experience for a Lightboard video. I guess you could have like a PA or someone hold a mic up here. You know, it could be like coming down like this. It could be from the side, whatever. You could do that, but it just seems like you could save some money, save some time by having a lapel mic. We have wireless lapel mics. Then you need a black backdrop. Showed you this in another video. It's not really that far behind me. My arms are not extended that far. It's right here. As long as you, when you're filming, you can really only see the subject matter expert, what's written on the board, and it looks like there's an empty abyss behind me, then you're doing your job right with using that black backdrop. Then you need a subject matter expert, an SME. I am the subject matter expert in this case. You are the subject matter expert in your case. Or maybe you have a team of subject matter experts. Whatever it is, you need someone to be behind the Lightboard. As we have discussed before, you can have one subject matter expert, you can have two subject matter experts behind the Lightboard. There are some cases as well where you can have more than two, but you're going to need a bigger Lightboard than what we are currently using. We are using I believe it's 45 inches on the diagonal. That is how big our Lightboard is. We have worked with Lightboards that are 80 inches on the diagonal. Basically, the more people you want behind the Lightboard, the bigger the Lightboard you need, but bigger is not always better because the bigger the Lightboard, the more space this illuminated black light that comes from all the sides has to cover on the board. So in some instances, you could write in the middle of the board. So I could write something like SME in the middle of the board. Or actually, let's put something, what is the most important part of e-learning? The most important part of e-learning is your learner. So if I write learner in the middle of the board, and I'm writing that on an 80-inch or whatever, man, 10-foot diagonal, this is not going to be as well illuminated as something that I write on the side of the board. So if I write learner down here, that's going to have a lot more illumination than the middle of the board when you're talking about the huge boards. That's why we like this size board. We actually have a link in the description below to the Revolution Lightboard website, and that is going to give you different options. There's small, medium, large, extra large, etc. There's custom builds. There's all types of lightboards. But like we said, bigger isn't always better. If you want to have multiple subject matter experts, more than 2, then you probably do want a bigger lightboard though. Just know that the center of the board is going to have wording that isn't as illuminated. And when you're filming an entire board, you're also, the bigger the board, really you're going to lose some quality with the camera as well. Even if you're shooting with an 8K camera, it just looks really good when you have everything more compact like this. Now markers, we talked about markers. Now we have a bunch of different colors here. I'm using a blue one right now. Green is what we use to, write these initial pieces. I have an orange. We wrote what we're going to talk about next here in orange. We have pink. I didn't use pink for this one. I'll circle our learner in the corner there. Don't put the learner in the corner like I did. They should be in the center, but you need to see me right now. So that's what we have. I think we have a yellow too, but the yellow kind of looks like the green. So if I put a yellow here and I put a green here, kind of similar. So be aware of that as well. Different colors are going to look sometimes the same as one another because of how the black light hits them. So how do Lightboard videos work? Well, when you combine all of these things, you can create amazing Lightboard videos. Now here's some tips though. We're going to go over some tips of how to create the Lightboard videos. The first 2 we can talk about together are static and add or added content. So static content would be at the beginning of this video, what did I do? I had Lightboard, camera, lapel mic, black backdrop, SMEs, markers, static, added or add, lists, drawings, and I had the title of the video on top. We call that static content because it was there when the video started. Added content is all this stuff that I've been adding, right? So the learner in the corner here, I added these arrows. We underlined some stuff. Even this, writing tips here, writing 4K to 8K, the check marks, this. All of that is added content. So when you're creating a Lightboard video, you need to think, what is the static content that I want at the beginning of the video, and what am I going to add? And sometimes you may add stuff that you didn't plan, and that's okay. The key though, and a tip with the static content, is write down the main points that you're going to talk about. So main points I was going to talk about, Lightboard, camera, etc. Like all of this, I know I wanted to include in this video. And then on the other side, I know I wanted to give you some tips, and I wanted to include that too. So now as I'm looking around, this becomes your flashcard. As an SME, this is one of the amazing things about a Lightboard, is you can write your notes on the board. This is why, so we have a video all about why you should use Lightboard content. This is one of the big reasons, is you can literally document out everything you're going to talk about. And then as an SME, a strong SME is just going to bounce between things. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about Lightboard. I'm going to talk about black backdrop, etc. Now it does take a little bit of time for the SME to adjust to interacting with the board, right? Knowing when to, oh, I'm going to do a check there or there. Like doing that at the right time, knowing when they say something to make sure that you're writing it as well. And then, yeah, I did this a little bit in this video, but you can take eraser here, and we're going to take the learners out of the corner because learners should never be put in the corner. Make sure there's no smudging. There's probably a little bit of smudging. But you can do that. Just different things you can do. Static and added content, super important. The next piece that we can group are lists and drawings. So this is a list. All right. This is a list. There was another video on this playlist where I drew a little stick figure. This would be a drawing. What this has to do with a lightboard? Well, let's draw a lightboard in front of him. There you go. This would be one of those big lightboards where you have like a 10-foot diagonal. But this is what we're talking about. You can do drawings. One of our clients, GeoTool, they produce amazing geometrical tolerancing training. There's a lot of drawings that Scott, the subject matter expert at GeoTool, would do with, you know, like drawing a, let's see, I'm probably going to butcher this, but this is like one of the drawings of one of the parts that they use, and then there's like a hole here, and a hole here. And then he would talk about tolerance. So it's like, okay, well, if this is the hole, and then the center of the hole, it's like right here, etc. You can draw another hole here. I'm butchering this right now, so Scott, if you're watching this, please don't hate me. I promise I learned a lot from that training. But the point is drawings. So the last piece to note, now that we've talked about the tips and tricks, here's the last tip / trick. What you're wearing is very important. And people have different opinions on what they should wear behind the lightboard. We've had some clients that wear very bright outfits. And the cool thing about that, when you wear a very bright outfit, is you're obviously going to show up very well. The focus becomes the subject matter expert. I mean, we're also going to see the lightboard content. We're going to see the neon markers, all of that. But the focus becomes the subject matter expert, which is really cool. So that's one option. So when we're talking about clothing, you can wear bright. You can also wear black. And there is a difference between black and dark when it comes to lightboard content, because if you wear black, your goal might be to create a floating head situation and to totally take the body of the subject matter expert out of the video. Because then your goal then is to blend in with the background. We've had clients that want a black shirt, polo, whatever, and then what they do is they put their logo on it, but they mirror it, because what we do, and what we hinted at and talked about throughout these videos, is in the back end, what we do is we mirror what we film. So with that camera, we're shooting the subject matter expert writing the right way. I'm not writing backwards. And then in post-production, we flip the image. So by doing that, you have the logo showing up on the shirt. Everything else blends in, so you can do black. The other option is to do darker colors. And like I said, the difference between doing black and darker colors is the purpose of doing black is to blend in. The purpose of doing darker colors, which is what we opted into, I have like a charcoal gray shirt on, like button-up shirt, is you can still see me, you can see the outline, but your focus is still on what's on the board. That's what we opt for. We've had some amazing clients wear very bright outfits and it looks phenomenal. I'm just not that cool, so I go with the darker colors for my clothing. So remember, you don't have to learn how to write backwards. Literally, I'm writing learners just like I would write it on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard or a wall. And then in the back end, when we edit the content or when you edit the content, all you're gonna do is mirror the image. And that's why it's important to either not wear logos, or if you have a logo on the clothing, then you want to make sure that you mirror it. So no logos or mirrored logos. Great. Well, that is everything you need to know about how do Lightboard videos work. We're really excited for you to create Lightboard videos. But before you go and invest in the Lightboard or hire out a company like ourselves to create Lightboard content for you, we recommend you scroll down, sign up for our free MasterClass, because our free MasterClass is going to teach you exactly what your learners want. And that, as we keep bringing up, is what your learners want is really all that matters. In the MasterClass, we go through how to define your learners, and then once you define your learners, we have a process that we give you, a step-by-step process on how to guarantee the success of your e-learning program, online course, or virtual training. By following that step-by-step process, you're going to test out different things and really figure out what kind of content your learners connect with, and then you can build out your whole program. So after taking the MasterClass and testing some things out, if you decide that Lightboard is the way to go, fantastic. You have a whole playlist here on YouTube to help you build out that Lightboard content. Now remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, you want to hear more from us to simplify your e-learning, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. When you first saw a Lightboard video, or maybe this is the first time you're seeing a Lightboard video, you probably thought to yourself, wow, that is a really cool trick. Well, the reality is there is data that supports why you should create Lightboard videos. Should you always create Lightboard videos? Not necessarily, but there are some major metrics that make Lightboard video content a key type of content to create for any e-learning program, online course, or virtual training. Remembering that it really is all about your learners, and we will get there today.